Guys, welcome back to the podcast. This is Mike Time. I'm Cody.
I'm Jay.
And we have a really awesome guest with us, man. And this is one of my really good friends. He is also known as Wolverine. Honestly, if it wasn't for Hugh Jackman, I think this man would be in the movies. He's a owner of a gym, a.k.a. Ludus Performance. Joe Smeck, welcome. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, Thank you, man. Thank you guys for having me.
We appreciate you coming on and taking your time to join us on the podcast.
I appreciate you guys bringing me on. I've seen you guys, I've seen all your work. Very excited to be here.
Hell yeah. But we wanted to just give the people a little bit of who you are and, you know, why. Obviously, you are a gym owner. You are a fitness trainer. What is it that maybe caught your eye or made you want to, hey, you know, I want to step into fitness and this is going to be my life?
So yeah, gotta take that all the way back. Even when I was a very young age, we had my grandfather who babysat us all the time, and he had what he had called Mike's Boot Camp. Like, you know, wake up, you got to make your bed, come downstairs, you got to do your push-ups, you got to do your sit-ups, you got to do your squats, and then he'd make you whatever you want, and then you have to go outside and play. It was mandatory, and yeah, ever since then, like doing the push-ups and the sit-ups every morning, like I kind of got into that routine that led into. I played sports, and I noticed that the more I exercised, the better I was playing. So kept going from there. I also got into like comic books, so you know, had Wolverine, had Spider-Man, Batman, Goku, Vegeta, all that came out. And of course,
anybody with abs,
exactly. Yeah. I was time to work out and look like that, right? Yeah. But then as I went, I actually was not in this field originally.
Okay.
I was in the criminal justice field. I was working with kids on house arrest, and I decided I've always loved fitness, and I started implementing fitness routines with the kids and noticed that they were enjoying the discipline of it all. And then I got a little bit jaded in that field. I started noticing like I'd be able to pick up on like when I knew a kid wasn't going to make it through the program, and that kind of, you know, I didn't want to think about that as for 16, 17-year-old kids, so I got out of it, and I decided I was going to go back and get in this career. So I went back to East Stroudsburg University. I asked to go back into a bachelor's program, but I talked to the dean of the program, and she said, no, you're going to jump into this anatomy class and physiology class real quick, and then you're going to jump into our master's program in like 3 months. I was like, okay.
And she just was like, this is how it's going to be?
Yeah, pretty much. She was like, take these 2 courses and you're in. I was like, all right. So... yeah, I enrolled in those classes that day, passed them, and then went on to my master's program. I did a hybrid program, so it was either you did like a strength and conditioning internship or you did like a research internship. And I ended up doing a combination of both. I interned out in the University of Pittsburgh at the Neuromuscular Research Lab, so I got to work on like some cool MARSOC projects. I also got to work with like the Steelers and the Penguins.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's pretty...
very cool experience. And then from there, I was looking for jobs and found Princeton Fitness and Wellness out on 206, was a trainer there, became a manager within the first, I think, like 4 months of working there. And I was there for about 2.5 years. I stepped down. COVID hit the day that I became officially a trainer again without being the manager. And then when gym shut down, me and my business partner, Adam, we were talking, and I said, we don't really know what the climate's going to be like or what a big gym setting is going to look like in the future. So we decided to strike out, do our own thing, make a smaller gym where we can kind of control the variables in that COVID era. And... been doing it ever since.
They're blossomed and created and was born.
Ludus Performance Gym.
Wow.
Yes, and I've always wanted to have my own gym since I went back and got my master's. I knew that's what I wanted to do, and it's been a hell of a ride. Had its ups, has its downs.
Yeah.
But it's been good so far.
Would you say creating Ludus, and I know Jay, you guys have a very similar story where you guys were both managers and trainers, and COVID hits, and you guys both started your own businesses during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you
literally.
say, yeah, literally, I forgot that was part of the story.
Yeah, March 16th. That's
Yeah.
when they shut down all the gyms.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Would you say starting a business then, I want to say like almost made you work more for, like being that there was like, hey, you're not able to do this, but you still fought through that adversity and was like, hey, now you're stronger because you came out through the other side?
I mean, it definitely presented its challenges
Yeah.
during COVID. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but like in our space, we weren't given because all the money was being given out towards businesses for their employees and stuff. I wasn't given much like financial aid in order to like get equipment and stuff like that. So
Okay.
we had to find a lot of the money ourselves.
You talking about like the SBA loan?
Yeah,
Right.
so like SBA loans were kind of like locked up at the time. For new businesses like me that had no, like, we didn't have like a year in, so there's nothing for them to judge our financials
Yeah,
on.
it's like, hey, here, this is what our profit margin looks
Yeah.
like. Hey, we're willing to give you this loan. You
Exactly.
didn't.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
you.
And
Okay.
so instead, me, Adam, my ex-wife at the time, who helped me out quite a bit, we came up with the money and we got like, high interest rates on equipment loans, and we found a space in Princeton Junction that was an open warehouse. I would say, having the fact that we didn't have enough money to like hire a team to come in and build out the center and do it ourselves.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sweat equity that was put into it, but it also, I had a lot of pride in what I was
Yeah.
building, and I
Yeah.
think that that helped out a lot, honestly, with driving
No.
us to open up as fast as we did and
Yeah.
maintain what we did. Yeah.
That's so, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Well, the only thing was I was able to get the SBA loan.
Yeah.
So, but they gave me a small amount of, I think it was 10 grand
Yeah.
to open up my business. But it was because I was an independent contractor when I was a manager for the gyms.
Oh, nice.
I was paid on a 1099.
Yes.
So when it came to getting the money from the SBA, they just determined, well, you're an independent contractor, you make this much, how much do you need?
Yeah.
And actually, no, it was 8,000. But I didn't want to take the whole 10, because if you took the whole 10, there was something that happened with the 10.
Yeah.
I forget what it was.
Was it like even a higher interest rate possibly?
No, the interest
or?
rate was still only 3%.
Okay, that's not bad.
But it was, you had to, if you had 10 or more, you had to provide receipts of everything that you did.
Purchased. Yeah.
And then your CPA, your accountant, would have had to take care of all that other stuff. But if you got less than 10, like 8, they didn't require receipts or anything. They just gave you the lump sum. So I was just like, oh,
I'll take that.
I'll take the 8.
Yeah.
I'll figure out the difference later.
Yeah.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah. And then we also had like, we had a very unique situation. So when I was let go from my other spot, they basically like told us we were fired. Like, so we all had to reapply for jobs. And so when we went in there too, like we opened up, and then when we opened up, they came at us for a non-compete issue. So we went through a lot of adversity there, went through a whole lawsuit process and all that. So
Yeah.
it was, I would say, as much as that was a very rough experience,
Yeah.
it did force me to be very creative as a business owner, and very strategic, and learn a lot more in terms of like changing up the business structure and all that in order to bring in more money.
Okay.
So it was a very unique time.
Yeah,
with COVID
I
and
have
everything
no
else
doubt.
going on. So
But I mean, I wasn't there for when you were. I was at the tail end, I think, maybe of COVID, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
I think so.
And for me coming in, to me, your gym, and this is not just me fluffing you up. This is because I
yeah.
didn't know. I didn't know. You know, I
Sir,
didn't.
he's lean.
He is quite lean. But man, the actual just community and vibe and everything that Ludus is, in my opinion, is what people should look to like build their gym about. Because when you go to commercial gyms, I feel like that's just I mean, obviously this is a business. We're about making money. But when I'm at these other gyms, it's just not the same experience as your gym, you know? And
appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's just another thing for me. I love using chalk. I feel like that is a crucial thing in terms of just safety. It's not even just about being able to like put chalk on your hands and feel cool. Like, it's an actual safety measurement to help you not, you know, have a bar possibly go on your neck.
Yeah.
and commercial gyms do not allow it.
Yeah.
So I think that being able to go to a gym like yours and being able to do whatever you want pretty much is awesome. You
So
know?
let's touch base on that, right? What somebody who's watching this that goes to a commercial gym,
Yeah.
what would you say separates you from the commercial gyms? What is different? What if somebody wants to come to your gym? What would they expect to see?
So I think with it's like Cody was saying, when it comes to commercial gyms, one, I think you're a number in there. And of course, every gym owner is like, oh yeah, we love when like our people join and they just pay and they never show up, right? We don't have that philosophy. I actually enjoy when members come in and use the gym. Like I know every member by name. My staff knows majority of the members by name. And I like when the members start to talk to one another and create that community because in my mind, that's what like kind of pushes your entire brand and gets you out there a little bit more. Not to mention like, because of that community feel, like I've had never a single piece of like personal items of my own or the teams or anybody in the gyms like gone missing.
Oh yeah, I'd never feel worried about leaving anything there.
No
like
one
it's
breaks equipment. No one's like
Leave your pride at the door.
yeah, no one's being disrespectful and like leaving their equipment everywhere. I mean, occasionally you get some people who are new, they leave their weights around a little bit, but like you say something to them, they pick it up, and that's just kind of the norm. I've never had any issues with like members going out of their members, and for the most part, like the gym is kept pretty clean. 'Cause it's kind of like a community and home for a lot of these guys. But I would say like if you're looking for something like that in a commercial space, what you want to do is you really want to look at the first person that you walk in the door. If that first person at the front desk is unengaged or disengaged and they are just like in miserable moods every time you walk in there, most likely you're going to be treated like a number. It's not really going to be that close knit feel that you want. Now again, some people don't mind it. Like when I used to work out at commercial gyms, like I loved LA Fitness. It had everything you needed. It had the sauna, it had the locker room, it had all the weights and machines. But I will say, like, once I opened up my spot and I have all the equipment that I personally love and I build it around certain performance aspects and like rehab stuff, I can't go back to commercial gyms. I've tried it, and it's almost like you go in and people just leave their shit everywhere. It's not clean.
So frustrating.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like leave something, if not the like, but like leave it better than you found it. That the saying. And it's like treat something as if it was yours. Yeah. And if you treat something as if it was yours, you're gonna treat it good because just because of that's like if I bought a brand new bike with my own hard work money, I'm gonna take damn good care of it. Whereas if say a parent buys it for their kid, they may not appreciate it as much because they were just given it.
Yeah.
So I
you
feel
don't want to go from a luxury apartment to a no-tell motel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like, right? When you own your own business and you go into someone else's and you're like, yeah, this is corporate. You guys don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
And
I think that's actually like one of the other benefits too. Like we talk about, like everybody takes care of the gym and all that stuff, but like also I think because it's such a close knit community, like if someone doesn't know something, like a trainer or a member most of our members train, so they've been trained by trainers for a long time. Like they see somebody do something wrong, like unlike a commercial gym where people are gonna like video you and like
or talk bad.
Yeah, or like point and laugh. Like most people walk up to them. Like if a trainer doesn't see it first, like they'll walk over and be, hey, why don't you try this instead? So it's I think that's the big difference is the personal ties with the members and the staff, as well as just the overall quality of equipment, I think is better. Well, can't say that for every small gym, but at least for our setting, like the quality of the equipment and the upkeep of the gym, I think is much different than a lot of corporate gyms you're going to see. With the exception of like, Lifetime. Because they're
also, I also love the event, like sort of, the community events that you do. Speaking back to that family community that you have, like you have the Warrior Challenge, where everyone come. Well, I think that could be Gladiator. Gladiator games. Like this reminds you of like kind of like the old school Greek Olympics almost, like from way back where you're just doing these raw things, and it's just like creating teams and competing.
Yeah.
And it's just an absolute blast. And then in the summer, you have the summer shredding challenge, you know, where it really gets people amped up to, you know, kind of light that fire under their ass when competition gets brought in.
And that's another point too. Like from a business perspective, that's what's different from corporate and like having my own business is when I was in corporate, I was very much, I would come up with ideas and it'd have to go through like 3 other people.
Yeah.
And by the time I found out about it, they'd be like, oh no, we're not going to do that at all. But it's like, all right, 3 months down the line, like here, if I want to implement something, or I want to change something, like it's
Yeah.
that day I can do that. And these events, like you don't have to, not to say that, you know, obviously HR departments are good, but like I can make an event without having to be like, okay, is every little detail, like, or every little thing that you're putting out there in your marketing or messaging, is it all PC correct all the time? Not, you know, like it's fun to be like, for example, like upcoming, and hopefully my members don't see this before I announce it to them, but like we're gonna be doing like a Hot Ones challenge, like get to know the members, and I'm gonna be cursing and they're gonna be cursing, and we're gonna be laughing and we're gonna make fun of people and like with each other, and it's gonna be like a fun community thing. But like if I were to attempt that, like
No.
at my old company, corporate setting, they'd be like, "Get out of here."
They'll be like,
Do you know how many people can?
you're psycho.
Yeah,
They're like, not a
What if
chance
they're
in hell.
allergic to the hot sauce?
Yeah.
This will
Figure that out when it happens.
this will come out before that happens. I mean, after that happens.
Yeah, it'll definitely, they will
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
So
So right now, currently, how
Yeah.
many active members do you have?
right now,
you can think off the
active
top of your head.
members, we have actually did excited to do this the other day. We have 138 active members. I have
Amazing.
Sweet.
20 people right now that are on pause because they're college kids that went back to college.
Right.
And I think we have like 2 or 3 on medical leave. They'll be back once they're done with their surgery or whatever they're doing. So
Gotcha.
yeah, and with MindBody, which is our software, like we get told all the time we have one of the highest retention rates. So we usually, I think we've kept about like in the 5. This is the start of the 5th year. We have a retention rate of like 87%, something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
really good.
that number has been consistent for about 2 years now. It's going to be growing because there's certain things that we're going to be implementing. Like we're soon to be one of the few 24/7 gyms in the area coming up.
Okay.
We're going to be activating like a whole new like member rewards program, and we're doing a whole online space growth.
If you don't mind me asking, what made you decide to move forward and look into doing a 24-hour?
Because I need time, man, for myself. Basically, so the way I had it was for insurance purposes. What I was told is it was a little bit cheaper if I had somebody on staff there that was CPR certified all the time.
Okay.
Recently, I looked into doing 24 hours because if my staff wasn't there, that meant I was there. And for burnout purposes, like I love what I do, but like I need to get out of the gym once in a while, be able to do some of my own stuff. So I looked into it. Insurance wasn't much different, so we're doing that. I think also because, again, there's only so many hours I could stay in that the gym myself. Like we're open at 6. Close at 8 p.m. Like there's an entire like group of people that get off the train at like 6:30, don't come till 7.
Yeah.
They would like to come to the gym, but I wasn't willing to stay open till 9 or 10. So now I think it's going to just open up to where we bring in more members and go from there. I have security cameras, everything else, and I'll be there for the first few times, like different times throughout the night. Just to ensure everything's going well. But I think if we instill the same type of community that we have, I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be great.
You're gonna have a staff member there for the overnights?
Probably not. I mean, to a certain extent, maybe. If I keep growing my staff, I'll probably have somebody there till like 10, 11. But after that, probably not. We had a group of there was police officers and some firefighters that I know that were looking to get for like that other time when they get off like their like night shifts. So they'd probably most likely be the ones in there. And when you look at like 24/7 gyms, like majority of the members are in there like till 11, 12 maybe. You get people in there like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah, it's
not
usually like a time
like,
frame.
It's not really
like 1 to like 4 is kind of like
pretty
active
dead.
anyway.
Yeah.
So again, I can always check the cameras. I can check the check-ins, see what's there, and
I like
stay
that.
from there.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if people need to work out their demons. They need to go in a little
go in
later.
at 4
Just go,
a.m.
just go in at 4 a.m. Come in or go in at 12,
That
like
quarter
midnight.
quarter
Yeah.
to 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Corey, you waking up sweats and you got to go just work something off,
Yeah, that's it.
get going.
Yeah.
You know,
There's nothing like good morning wood.
this guy.
Got to work it off.
Yeah.
So, I can't say that I was a gym owner. I mean, even though I did have a gym, but it was a therapy practice that just happened to have gym equipment.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And okay, I did my personal training, and I had young athletes.
Yeah.
I actually had this one kid, I'll never forget him, man. This kid was amazing, dude. John. And, no, it was John and Andrew. It was two brothers, but Andrew was 6'1", 17 years old.
Nice.
He was a lefty pitcher being scouted for the minor leagues at 17.
Good for him.
Played in Staten Island. The kid was an amazing,
Solid.
solid
I'm a
pitcher.
lefty. I'm all about that.
He had, and you know lefties in baseball,
We're always right. You
they
know?
have a higher, God, Jesus Christ. I can't wait to talk about you going to the gym, buddy. So, he was a lefty pitcher that had horrible back pain.
Yeah.
And he did the chiro, he did the PT, and no one was able to figure it out. And anytime that he would lift his right leg and go to land on it, that's a hip rotation that he couldn't produce.
Yeah.
So he was using, what I found out was he was using his lumbar spine to rotate because he had a rib cage that was orienting one way and a pelvis orienting the opposite.
Yeah.
So it was a torque on the lumbar spine. So I had to basically get him to internally shift. But anyways, make a long story short, I worked with that kid for 3 months. Back pain was gone, and I believe he got scouted now.
Nice.
But that kid was a phenomenal. So when I designed my business, I designed it around getting people out of pain that PT, chiro, doctors, injections, nobody could fix. And I have a great track record on that. So I didn't get to build, but building my business, I would probably say was more difficult because of the fact that nobody understood what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it was a strict gym and personal training, I would get more clientele. But to explain to people that I do posture restoration, applied integration, and licensed massage therapy, they're like, what the fuck is that? I know massage therapy.
Yeah.
What's the other shit? So I think if for anyone out there that's looking to build a business, don't think too much about what you're going to offer. Think about what the clientele needs. Does that make sense? So for instance, my biggest mistake was I tried to promote posture restoration and apply. Nobody knows what the hell that is. What I should have been promoting was pain relief. Everybody understands pain relief.
Okay.
Right? You see what I'm getting with that?
Now I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. Everybody understands that is what they need. But I can't explain to them now if they ask me what I did, then I would explain to you what I do. This separates me from everyone.
Yeah.
But if you promote something that is simple, that the clientele is looking for, that's what they need. Right? Like you could promote personal training and you say, I have this cert, I have this. Oh, what do you do? I have this cert and I have this cert, I have this cert, I have this license. But what do you do? Like, what is the big picture? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's where I would make the mistake. So now,
Yeah, when it comes to marketing, you need to have, like, again, especially because yours was, you had your niche. Like, that's
Right.
what you did. If you're going to do that, you need to have your marketing be very clear and concise on your target demographic, what it is you're going to get their goal, what their goal is going to be. Like, you can't be like, oh, yeah, we're going to get you, we're going to be fat loss in general.
Yeah.
There's a million fat loss people out there.
Right.
Like, you want to be like, hey, this is for the working mom who is a mother of like 2 and wants to go to the gym 2 times a week.
Yeah.
Has an hour to herself. We can help you with this, and this.
right.
Like in your case, like, hey, I'm here to help you get out of pain. I am the guy who can get you out of pain when others can't. You go,
Right.
Yeah.
So being that what do you consider your title at this moment
For the business.
for the business?
Oh, so I'm the owner and I'm the head trainer of the facility. I'm in charge of pretty much. I mean, I have a partner, but I'm majority of the owner. And inside the business, when I'm there day to day, I am. Have you guys ever seen like Cheers? You guys got the guy walks into the bar and goes, hey, how's it going, man? He's like, oh, yeah, and what's up, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm the guy who goes in, I got to keep the energy high. I train my people, but at the same time, I need to be the mayor of the facility. I got to know every member in there. So to give myself, like, one label, it's kind of tough. I would just kind of say I'm the owner through and through, and the owner definition I give myself is the guy who I get to fill in when trainers aren't there. I got to do all the admin. If things break, I don't have the funding to have a equipment guy or a like a mechanic or maintenance guy on staff. So I'm that guy. I'm the plumber. I'm the cleaning. I'm the crew. I'm everything. So
you're the backbone.
He's the guy who wears many hats.
Yeah, he wears many hats.
Many hats in my business. Yes.
Right. So for someone who's looking to get into the gym, right, who is, let's say, overweight, or who just never worked out before, or was injured and wants to get back in.
Yeah.
What do you feel is the best steps for them to start with?
Well, I think a lot of people, if they've never gone to the gym, we'll start there, because that's a whole different...
two different beasts.
It's two different animals. The person who's never stepped foot in a gym, I think... a lot of times, often they are nervous because they don't know what they're doing, and people don't like to look stupid or feel like inadequate. So I think what you need to do is, when you're looking for somewhere to go and you're really not sure what you're doing, go on Google, look at the reviews, and look for trainers. I think that someone who's never done it before, it is best to have a trainer, because there's a million things on YouTube, and there's some guys that are good on YouTube, and then there's guys that, like, you watch, and as a trainer, I'm like, what the fuck are you selling? So I think, like, your best bet is find a local gym and look at what their training staff, how people talk about them online. Go talk with a few. You don't need to make a decision right then and there. And if you walk in and they're trying to shove it down your throat, that's not going to be the place for you. Go find a place like Ludus. No, go find a place where, like, the training staff's not there to shove your credit card in the system and just shove their training down your throat. They're there to see where you're at, meet where you're at, and get you going on a proper program, teach you the form, learn the basics, and go from there. But if financially that's not your thing, or you just can't afford that, or you don't want to meet with the trainer and you just want to go, I think what you need to do is look for a place that has a lot of machines that you can go on, because most of the machines are very well labeled. They show you exactly how to work them. Get into a routine of just going. I think then if you want to tackle, you've been in the gym, like, so here, we can give Cody a little shout out over there.
I have been struggling. I'm not.
Mister, I don't have time to go to the gym. Weren't you going to the gym at like 5 in the morning?
Listen,
I would wake up.
What ended up happening was Cody got engaged. He got a little happy.
Happy. She moved in.
I
don't want to get
I had bronchitis.
Yeah. Listen,
Guys, I literally couldn't breathe.
You lost the prime motivator. Hating yourself a little bit inside. Just kidding. Dom Mazzetti said it right.
Oh my god.
The bronchitis is his fiance.
I think when somebody is in the gym, or they were in the gym a lot and they loved it and they fell off, and it happens to everybody. Like, I've gone through phases. I mean, this past summer, I went through some stuff, and I was even barely working out, and like,
I can't tell.
I appreciate it.
He's sculpted like a goddamn Greek god,
Had to
dude.
jump back into that real quick.
He was like, my man.
But no, I think what ends up happening is, once you're out, it's very easy to stay complacent, because it is the hardest part is going in. Getting there, kind of getting back into it, like, it's not that bad, Start off, especially like here. I'll use Cody as an example.
100%.
Because like you are like not typical, but you are the younger guy who life gets in the way at times, and you're finding it difficult to get back into the gym. I think what ends up happening is some of these like guys like us we jump back in and we're like, oh, we got to jump back in where we were.
Yeah.
And we got to go back on this like strict plan that we were doing that took us like months to get into.
Yeah.
When in reality, like, I would tell somebody like you to come in and just do like get an arm pump going, like do something that's going to make you just feel good.
Yeah.
Or if anybody, like, and this actually can apply actually to the person who's never been in the gym or a person who has and are looking to get back in. Like, find something you want to do and you enjoy doing. Like, if you don't like walking on a treadmill for an hour, don't walk on the fucking treadmill for an hour.
Yeah.
If you don't like Stairmaster, then don't go on the damn Stairmaster. If you like to lift weights, go lift some weights. I don't even care if in the beginning you don't have a program. Just go in there, be active, get used to the weights again, and then figure out from there your plan of attack.
Yeah.
And then some people, it's behavioral. It's, oh, I don't got the time, or I feel like I'm tired all the time, or by the time I get home, I don't feel like going back out. So it's kind of looking at, okay, take apart your day, see which part of the day, like, are you a morning person? Are you a night person? When do you have the most energy?
Yeah.
If in the morning you're finding it difficult to have enough time to get up, get changed, to go out the door and eat breakfast and everything else, maybe the night before you pack your gym bag. So in the morning, you wake up, you have your breakfast, and maybe at night you already have your gym bag packed in the car right from work, you go there. Instead of having to go all the way home, get changed, and then not want to leave. So there's a lot of different strategies. I think you have to look at kind of like your behaviors and what it is that you're saying is in your way, and try to find ways to kind of work around that.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I think it was about 3 years that I was waking up between 4 and 5 and getting to the gym at 5:30 and 6.
Yeah,
And I had such a good routine of doing that 5 to 6 days a week, meal prepping every Sunday, my lunch and dinner, and it was such a dialed in machine, and it was just, and I'm not going to use this as an excuse because it's past the time of where I can use it as an excuse, but when the bronchitis hit and I couldn't like actually breathe and I lost my lung capacity, what's crazy is I'm still dealing with repercussions from it. Like, I need to go get an actual scan done because I think that there's something wrong with my lungs because I'm still coughing. But it's like you get sucked out of this routine that you're so used to, and it's such a struggle right now to just even attempt. Like, there's times where I was able, a month ago, like I went in once a week or twice a week, and it was like, it felt, in that moment I felt so fucking good, and I was like, wow, this is what I missed. I feel lost without it. And here, like this week, I told myself I was gonna go twice, and I didn't fucking go. And I mean, I still have time. I can go Saturday and Sunday or Friday, but
Count the men's class.
no, 100%. But it's like I'm in my head where I'm so much like I'm beating myself up when I don't know why I'm having trouble to now wake up that early again. It's like, I don't know what's different. It has nothing, and like Daniela, my fiance, is trying to push me to go. Yeah. Like she's like, I'm not gonna like let you hit snooze or whatever. Like, I'm gonna tickle you until you go. And I'm like, all right, sure.
Can I touch base on what I think it is?
What?
That exact reason. It's not her pushing you. It's you're at peace now with her in your bed.
I know, but it has nothing, because I was at peace with her before I had bronchitis.
But she wasn't living here.
No, she was.
She was living here during bronchitis?
Yeah.
You lied to me.
No, she's been moved in. I mean, I don't remember the date, but she was here while I had bronchitis. And like, I had a routine still where, I was waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning and I was having no issues. Yeah. But it was that.
I think maybe now, instead of like trying for that morning time, then you just gotta try for a different time.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna keep putting all that pressure on yourself, then every time you don't do it, you're then like,
it's gonna become a chore.
It is. It's gonna become like, you're negative reinforcing the fact that you're not doing it. So I would try to maybe, okay, I'm gonna make it to the gym either one night out of the week, or try to make it one night or
but it's
one
like,
morning.
To me, I'm like, how can you only do one night? I was like, you were doing 5 to 6. It's
like I was saying, that you got to get back into something. Right? I mean, if you can't make it to the gym, like, just so you feel decent, grab a kettlebell, grab some bands. Here,
no, I mean, I'll do like, they're only 10 pounds, but I'll do like shoulder workouts when I can, like just in between doing stuff.
Enough. I'm just kidding.
Just kidding. No, you're not wrong, but it's like, it's man.
You just got to do it.
Yeah, and also I think it like helps when you have somebody who's going to go with you.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, and I think that's another reason why I think a lot of people have trainers. I know for a fact.
Yeah,
like
it's accountability.
Yeah, like my one client, Jim, straight up. I love him. He's one of my favorite clients. I trained him now for years. He said, Joe, I'm here for 2 reasons. One, I got a way too hot of a wife. He goes, that I need to stay in shape. He goes, and 2, he goes, I pay you, so I'm gonna show up.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Those are 2 reasons.
Yep.
and valid reasons, very valid.
Very valid reasons, especially number 1.
And I think that's where, like, when people are struggling, I think having that, like, accountability piece, whether it's a friend saying, hey, I'm going to show up at the gym.
Yeah.
And then them just relentlessly bagging on you when you don't.
Yeah.
Or having, like, you know, a trainer, or having a class that you signed up for and paid for. Like, I think that helps people get back and re-engage.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree with that. I would agree with that.
The hardest part about getting to the gym is getting to the gym.
Yeah.
And it ain't motivation, it's discipline.
Oh, no. We talked about that.
We had that whole thing. Is it motivation or discipline?
It's discipline.
Guys, we're going to put up over here on the screen. This is the video. You should see it in a little box up here if Cody can remember to put it. It's a little clip that says motivation or discipline, right? That was the episode we had. Yeah, that was one of our first ones.
If I want to ask you, Joe, if there were, this is very, not off topic, but if there were, say, 5 exercises that you could only use
for the rest of your life,
what would
5?
that? Yeah, I know
5.
And I know some. There's another podcast
For 10.
if you want to do 10,
I changed it to 5.
I said 10 originally.
Let's go. I got 10.
Okay, all right.
There's 5. That's ridiculous.
What are the 10 exercises?
Now, this is just for me, or is this me training clients?
It could be either. It could
That's way two different things.
Very true. But it doesn't matter. Whether it's you or telling someone, what are 10 exercises that you would advise, like, that they could only do?
That only they could do.
No, like that. Like, those are the only 10 that are
all gyms closed.
So I would say, do we have equipment? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Equipment. Yeah.
I would say
equipment.
For a majority of people, you got to have a squat pattern. I personally love teaching the Zercher squat. I love how it feels. I love the functionality of it. All squats are functional to an extent, obviously. But, I mean, I think a Zercher squat is, you know, you squat down, you pick up a kid, hold him in your arms. If you have to pick up and drag somebody. I just like the Zercher squat as a whole. So I think that would be probably my number 1. If you have access to a sled, I think I'm adding this as a push-pull sled combination. I think is great, where you're pushing the sled forward, you're dragging it backwards. I think some kind of variation of a hinge pattern, right? So for me, if I'm doing this for myself, I love a bunch of variations of deadlifts. I like to do a lot of strongman type stuff. So I like Zercher deadlifts. I like Jefferson deadlifts. I like a conventional deadlift. I like the hack squat. I like picking things up in weird angles off the ground.
Yeah.
But for an everyday person, I would actually say probably an RDL would be best for hamstring growth, glute growth and activation, posterior chain work. So Zercher squat, the sled push pull for everyday people, RDL. I would say some variation of carry. So I would say most people should be doing like a suitcase carry.
Okay.
Because you're either walking with a heavy bag on one side or you're carrying your bag. I would do
some sort of bicep, something.
I mean, yeah, for the bros out there, but no, I would do. If we're doing this for pure functionality of like everyday people, I would do a dumbbell row. I like to do a lot of posterior chain work because everybody's always like this all day or like this all day and they're looking down, seated a lot. So I like to work the posterior chain a lot. For everyday people, I would say like a reverse hyper would be great if they have access to that. Where was that at? 7? 6? Where are we at?
6.
6.
4 more.
That's why 5 would have been easier.
I think training an overhead press is good because, again, I mean, you're putting dishes away up over your head.
Yeah.
I hate when people tell people like, oh, you can't lift more than 10 pounds. And then you put like, you know, old school glass dishes away and there's 4 of them in a stack. And it's like, grandma, that's more than 10 pounds already, you know? I would say if you're going to consider like, do you want to consider like cardiovascular work as an exercise or no?
No.
Because I would say sprints. I think sprinting is great if you're able to do it. I would sprint. But But if that's not allowed, then I would do a box jump
Okay.
or some variation of a jump to keep explosiveness at all ages.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not a box jump when you're like older, but maybe doing a squat jump and landing properly. And so that's 8, right?
Yeah, we got 2 more. Any
2
pec
more.
work? I know you have the push on the sled, which technically that is working the pecs.
I mean, for everybody, I think being able to do a push-up off the ground is
Okay.
a very functional movement to be able to lift yourself up.
You can add weight to
And-
that too by adding chains and all that if you want to.
Of course.
Sit-ups.
I would, if you can do it, I like the hanging leg raise a lot. Because one, I think, for aesthetic purposes, I think it's one of the better exercises out there. But 2, I think it teaches a lot of body control. Because, you see those people just flail their legs. If you're doing it properly and correct, you have to create that vacuum a little bit, raise your legs up slowly, or raise them up slowly, lower them slowly. You're getting a slight tilt in the pelvis rather than just rocking motion back and forth. I think it's a great movement. You got to force yourself to control and hold with your lats and everything at the same time. So I would do a hanging leg raise over a sit-up.
Nice.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Now my list for myself is way different. But
Oh, I have no doubt. It's all strong, man. It's
Oh, yeah.
What
So
was
many
the?
stuff.
Oh man, what was the guy that we always used to look up? Who has like, he looks like a alien. He does like with a fucking keg on his neck and
Tom Havlin.
Tom Havlin.
He's
that
a
dude
monster.
is
Is an animal, and I love the way he trains.
Yeah.
That's kind
feel
of
like
how I've
yeah.
been training now for a while now. I like his style. I like to do a lot of strongman stuff, and I like to do bodybuilding along with it in a sense. I throw in some Olympic lifting here and there, but for the most part, yeah. If you guys see Tom Havlin, that dude is,
That dude's on another level.
he's Bane in real life. It's
oh
awesome.
yeah.
And
I
now
mean, who knows?
See his kid?
No,
Oh yeah, he's got like his
a mini
baby.
Bane.
Oh yeah, which is annoying. 'Cause he's like
Yeah.
6 months old. He's taller than me, right? It's kind of that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
But,
he's on something though.
Yeah,
Or what is
genetic freaks. The man is like
Genetic freak, but
that
he's
man is
also on
6'7",
something.
like 319
Yeah.
pounds.
I think I've shown you videos before.
Yeah, you
He's
did.
it's like he only, for the most part, he
He's
doesn't
a
show.
big boy.
Yeah, and he doesn't show like his face.
Yeah.
Like for the most part
Yeah, I
at
remember
all.
you showing him.
Yeah.
You showed it to me actually at my gym.
Oh, okay.
It's like those
Yeah.
bear claw shoes.
Yeah.
It's like pants like these.
Yeah.
And just a thermal.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
thermal, right,
Yeah.
right.
Just
I
going
seen that.
nuts.
That's unbelievable. All right, so you had a special guest
Yes, I did.
randomly hit you up.
I did.
This gentleman is one of the, I would say, probably the most well-known man in the world.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think anyone. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you guys don't know who it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
So explain to us in whatever detail they allow you to explain.
I can pretty much say everything.
Okay, how did this come about?
That was, well, first off, that was one of the most random experiences, but it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life. Dwayne is larger than life. Like physically, obviously, this man is like, giant. I think he was getting ready. He was in WrestleMania.
Yep, because they were in
And,
Philly.
Yeah, it was probably the biggest and leanest this man's ever been. And, but also like his personality. He's exactly how I was expecting him to be. Very respectful. Came in, looked everybody in the eye, shook their hand, and just got after it when he was in the gym. It was really nice. It was really cool to see and experience that. Because, this man is, he's a billionaire. He's one of the most well-known individuals on the planet. This
guy's larger than life.
Yeah, he walked into my humble garage gym.
Yeah.
Where I didn't know he was coming in, or I would have ordered a whole new cable machine before he got there. No, so it started off one day I was at the gym. I think I was going to take a nap in my car, and this guy he's walking in, and I'm like, great. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? And he's like, it's 1 in the afternoon, it's dead time at the gym. He's going, hey, he's like, you mind if I walk around? I want to look at the gym for my client. And I'm like, yeah, all right, go, man. And I'm like, client, here we go. It's probably some like rich Princeton guy
Yeah.
just sending his lackey in. I'm like, all right. So he goes, he's like, oh, dude, it's a really nice gym. I'm like, oh, man, I really appreciate that. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm going to talk to my a client about it. He goes, I don't know if there's enough weight in here. I'm like, enough weight in here? I'm like, dude, I got dumbbells go up to like 125. I got like thousands of pounds of plates. What are you talking about? I was like, do you mean like machines? And he's like, yeah, probably more machines. He's like, yeah, obviously you got like weight in here. He's like, but and I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? So I'm like, well, if you're looking for more machines, I'm like, listen, man. He's like, but we kind of like this feel, like this is the type of gym we go to when we travel, like Europe and across the states. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Again, I'm thinking it's just some like Princeton like hedge fund guy. I'm like, too much like mom and dad money or something. But I'm like, well, listen, if you want like more machines and stuff, like there's a place down the road. Told him the name. I was like, it's got that old school feel like us. It might have like a smaller turf area. Well, you should go check that out. He's like, oh, dude, I really appreciate that. Like, thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, no problem. So apparently he goes there and he checks it out. Didn't like it. And all of a sudden, so he comes back about 2 days later. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on, Chris? How you doing? He's like, Joe, he goes, listen, do you mind if I take a video of this real quick? I'm like, yeah, dude, go for it. He's all right. Takes a video, sends it over to his client. And he's like, yeah, so this is like exactly what my client likes. Like, we looked this gym up at a time. Like, he looked at it, and this was like his #1 pick anyway. So I'm just taking a video. He liked the video. He's like, so we're gonna be staying pretty local. He's like, do you mind if we like use the gym? And I'm like, yeah, dude, of course. Like, not a big deal. Like, of course. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, so who's your client? And he goes, listen, I can't tell you who he is, but like, I'll put it this way: every time we walk in the room, no one doesn't know who he is. He goes, everyone knows this man. He goes, so kind of a big deal. He goes, so I asked that like when he comes in, you kind of be respectful and don't really say anything. And I'm like, okay. Like,
did you have an idea who that might be yet?
I had no fucking idea.
When Joe told me not to continue, we were listing off names, and one of the first ones we said was The Rock. And we're like, there's no way it's him.
Well, what was crazier was like 3 weeks before this all even happened, like I was with my team in the gym and I was like hype, and our friends who are watching this all know, like when I get hype, I'm like, I'm like a kid on candy. I'm like going around.
Energizer Bunny.
And I'm like, this is the year, guys. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, this is our year. I was like, we're gonna have some big shit happen this year. Yeah. Like some big name celebrity is coming in this gym. And they're like, oh, like what? Like Hugh Jackman's, I love Hugh Jackman and and all that. I'm like, nope. They're like, what, Kevin Hart? I'm like, no.
We said huge, awesome. Not short.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that's the one thing I wish. I'll tell you what, I wanted to ask Dwayne so bad. But
please don't tell me you were going to ask him if Kevin wants the same height as you.
I was going to be like, yo, I'm taller than Kevin, right? Like, come on. I did. But then I was going to ask, and I was so starstruck. I'm like, hi, Dwayne. Hi, Dwayne. My voice cracked. So it was embarrassing. But no, no. So I was like, oh, no, it's going to be Dwayne Johnson. And we're like, yeah, okay, Dwayne Johnson. And then so... flashback to this now, he's not telling me who it is. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Again, I'm still like kind of like, all right, it could be anybody. I don't know.
Right.
It's whatever.
We need Dwayne on the show,
so,
please.
Yeah.
Please.
All of a sudden, like,
please.
I'm sitting there like, okay, well, wow, this is gonna be somebody pretty big. So like, we immediately all get on our phones. We're like looking in the air, like, what's going on?
We were doing everything.
Yeah, my buddy Charlotte is a stuntman in LA. I'm like, yo, is there like a big movie coming on around here? Yeah. My buddy's like, I don't know of anything happening. And I'm talking, and then Adam goes, WWE is in town. And I'm like, oh, shit. But again, I'm not thinking The Rock. The Rock hasn't been part of WWE. In
John Cena, maybe.
That's what I thought. I was like, John Cena.
Well, you wouldn't be seen if you walked through the door.
Also, what's his name? Roman Reigns.
So again, like, I don't watch WWE. So, like, Roman Reigns to me, I was like, I wouldn't know who that is.
Yeah.
So if he walked in my gym, I'm like, it can't be that guy. So I was like, John Cena. It's the only person I know. It's like, large enough for people to know who he is. So I'm like, oh, no way. I'll go home. I'm like talking to my ex-wife. I'm like, oh my God, like John Cena might be coming. She's like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And then, so he told us, he's like, hey, listen, so like we're gonna come in on Monday, or no, we're coming on Tuesday. That's what he told us, Tuesday. And I was like, great, because I'm off on Tuesday. So I'm like, all right, come in, it'll be great. So Monday comes around, and it's like early in the morning, and I'm like doing some errands in between. I'm like wearing nothing, looking like a gym owner or anything like that, and all of a sudden I get this call from Adam. I'm actually about to go take a nap in my car for like a brief minute while I go in between errands and clients. And Adam goes, you need to get the fuck in here right now. I'm like, wow, what's going on? He's like, you know that guy Chris? I'm like, yeah. He's like, he called. And he goes, you need to get in here right now. I'm like, why? Like, what's going on? He goes, just come in. So I pull up to the front of the gym, from the end of the lot up to the front of the gym. And I see like 5 guys walk in the gym, and I'm like, I know none of them. So I'm like, okay, like, it's just like, were we like punked? I'm like, what's going on? I walk in, and Adam is like my partner, who I love him, but he's not the guy to wipe down equipment. He's wiping down everything we have. Like one wipe. He's like staring at me. He's wiping things down. He's moving things around. I'm like, what's going on? So I walk up to these guys, and I'm like, introduce, hey guys, what's going on? I'm Joe, I'm the owner. They're like, oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, the boss will be here soon. And I'm like, yeah, speaking about the boss, who's the boss? And they just start laughing. They're like, we can't tell you. Like, but when he walks in the room, like, you're going to know who he is. And I'm like, okay. So all of a sudden, I walk up to Adam. And I don't know, hopefully this doesn't get Chris in trouble. But Chris apparently walked up to Adam and was like, yo, so just so you know, in case you want to get something ready for him or something, but it's Dwayne Johnson. And Adam's like, no fucking way. Adam's like, dude, Joe, I almost shit my pants. He goes, what? So I'm like, Dwayne Johnson coming in here? He's like, yeah. What? I was like, Dwayne Johnson's coming in here right now. He goes,
the fuck around.
He goes, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, gentlemen, I will be back. I walked out to my car, and I squealed like a schoolgirl. I was like, I called back. So I was like, Dwayne Johnson's coming. She's like, oh my God. She's out. I'm like, I was calling, right? And like, all of a sudden, I had this one client. And my one client, Donnell, larger than life guy too.
Oh, great guy.
And I call him and I'm like, yo, I know we got a session, but you're not coming in. He's like, what do you mean? I'm on my way. And he's getting all mad. I'm like, I don't care. I was like, turn the car around. You're not allowed in the gym. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I got a big name celebrity coming in and you can't be here. He goes, don't fuck with me. Because I thought it was true. It was either like April Fool's. It might have been April Fool's Day, I think. And that's why I was like, well, I thought we were getting fucked with. Yeah. I was like, oh man, like my former employee who I've had to fire, like he set this whole thing up. I'm like, oh. But I'm like, Donnell, I was like, Dwayne Johnson's about to walk in this gym. And if you think that I'm not going to lift with The Rock, I was like, I've been waiting for this for a very long time. Get the food. And I was like, go home. He's like, no way. And I'm like, I'm hanging up. And I hung up. So he drives up to the gym. He sees his SUV. He got so scared. He's like, I had to turn around because I couldn't find out. So he drove home.
I had a chance to meet him.
Yeah, so like I'm sitting there, like I took a bunch of pre-workout now. I'm like starting to like work out. I'm like, this is great. Adam's like sitting there all anxious. He's got like a client. And I'm like, cancel your fucking client, man. Like, Dwayne Johnson's coming in. Well, all of a sudden, like, they told us, though, like, you don't need to shut the gym down for them. Like, if people walk in, it's okay. Just don't be announcing it to where else the whole crowd comes in. I'm like, all right. And then there he comes, and you see the SUV pull up, and there he walks in, like, like he's like the most jacked Sith Lord of all time with his hoodie up like this. And I'm like, oh, my God. The people's champ is in my gym. Right walks in, and takes his hood off, and he goes, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? I'm like, oh. Hi, Dwayne. I'm like, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson. You can call me Dwayne. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Okay. And he starts working out, and it was awesome. I mean, I'm like 2 feet from The Rock. I'm like lifting with him. I'm like, this is great. He's wiping down his equipment. He's getting after it. And then he went over to my cable machine. I was praying he wasn't going to go to that cable machine because one of our cables broke, so I had to like jimmy rig it with a different type of cable. So it just like it moved a little differently. So I had to walk over to him and say, Dwayne, there are 2 different cables because the one snapped. I had to fix it a little bit. Like I'm waiting for my other cable to come in. And he goes, yeah, brother, I was going to tell you, it's a little off. He goes, not a big deal. And I'm like, it is a big deal. I wasn't expecting Dwayne fucking Johnson to walk in here. And he laughed a little bit. So I was like, all right, cool. And then
that's funny.
We finished our workout. He's about to leave, and he turns around. I'm like, hey, Dwayne, thanks for coming. He goes, dude, no, thank you, man. He goes, it was a great gym. He goes, it's no bullshit, no frills. I love this type of thing. He's like, thank you so much for having me. I'm like, no, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. He goes, no problem, man. He starts to walk away, and then he turned around, and I could have died in this moment. He goes, by the way, you look fucking great, brother. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, you're like, so I'm like, oh shit. So I'm keeping it cool. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Can we get a picture with you? Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, dude. So he walks over, and we go to take a picture, and it was in front of our mural that one of our members painted of the gladiators. It went viral on NJ.com.
Everyone
he said it. He told us, he's like, look, I was like, look, man, if you don't want it, I don't got to post it anywhere. I just want to put a picture up in here. He goes, no, dude, put that everywhere. He goes, I hope it works out for you. I hope it helps you out. I was like, awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, we went viral on NJ.com. it was so funny seeing some of the comments. I mean, first comment right away is like, who's the child next to Dwayne? I'm like, thanks, boy. And then after that, it was like, some people were like, oh, they paid him. And I'm like, okay, if you think I paid
the amount of money that it would probably take for her to make an appearance, I'm like, no way.
I'm barely paying the air conditioner or the rent bill.
Yeah,
I mean, like, what the hell?
right.
But no, it was a really cool experience. We did get a bunch of people call in about the gym, and now we're known as the gym, like in the area where like people from Lifetime, they're like, oh yeah, Dwayne went here, right?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's cool.
That's cool.
But it was really awesome. One of the coolest experiences of all time. Great guy. So,
Hopefully he comes back.
Yeah.
I was so mad because when we were brainstorming, we had so many different. We were thinking UFC fighters, football player, all these different things.
Oh, that just reminded me of something.
And I was like, you guys need to tell me when he shows up.
Right.
And listen to this, Jay. The crazy part was, so Dwayne came on Monday. We thought he was coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
I asked them on Wednesday. They Adam and Joe. They're like, oh yeah, he was already here. I was like, what? I was like, you guys didn't tell me.
I was like, kind of get butthurt, right?
I was like, what? Come on, man.
You almost
kind
of get butthurt.
I was so sad. I was like, oh man, I wanted to shake
thanks
his
for
hand.
the call.
I was like, I want a picture too. And I was
Sick
like,
invite.
But I think one of the funniest things though was it was pretty much just him and you guys, and there was an older lady in the gym, and she had no fucking clue who it was.
Well, let's go. Now, maybe not the most well known.
and Pam's great because Pam is this, like, she's such a badass. She's like, I don't even know how old. Nobody knows. But she is like shorter than me, and she's like doing deadlifts, and she's doing pull-ups, and she's, total badass.
She kills it.
And there's Dwayne. And I'm like lifting next to like two benches down from Dwayne. I'm like, oh, this is sweet. Oh my God, it's Dwayne Johnson. And Pam just like walks up like in the middle of him like getting all hype and like doing his thing, right? She just walks up and she's like, hey, are you using that dumbbell?
Oh
like,
shit.
he was like, no, God.
That's crazy. So I pulled up the picture. Let's see if I can get it in front of the camera.
Oh yeah.
So this is the picture here of him.
Oh yeah.
Like, I wish I knew. I would have had a haircut. I would have had a different outfit. I would have been like, yeah. But another funny thing happened that we had another member in there, and I hope Diego ends up seeing it. So I'm gonna tell him to watch this. Like, this kid walks in, and Diego is great because Diego just comes in, has his headphones on, and he just looks down. He goes to his bench. He goes to his squat. He goes to his deadlift. Does his thing, and he leaves. Just nods like this. Walks out. Barely talk to the guy. And he walks in and does the same thing that day. And I'm like looking at him. Like, trying to be like,
you're like waiting
and
for a
then
reaction.
at one point we catch eyes and I'm like, and he's like, what, dude? Like, and all of a sudden I'm like, at the end I'm like, dude, was that not awesome? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, who was the big guy?
No.
I'm like, what do you mean, who's the big guy? He goes, yeah, the dude with like the hood up. He goes, was it like a boxer or something like that? Or like a local guy? Like, what is it? College football player? Like, what? I'm like, dude, that was Dwayne Johnson. He goes, get the fuck out of here. He goes, this is still out there? He runs out.
Oh, man. If I was Diego, man,
that's crazy.
It was awesome.
That's a killer.
Cool, man.
If you were there and you didn't realize it,
that was
would you
I'm
say
sorry,
that's one of
Diego.
the highlights of your career?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was the fact that, there are a lot of gyms in the area. There's a lot of that old school feeling gym. There's a lot of other small businesses. And the fact that he went to my gym and then he went to the UFC gym. And I know at the UFC gym, like, he knows the owner. So the fact that, like, he came and chose my gym because of how it looked, because of the equipment that we had, and they said because of the reviews they saw, that to me, it was like a big pat on my back, and my team for creating a space where, again, he's a fitness icon. He's one of the most popular men on the planet, and for him to choose that spot was it was a very cool experience.
Nice, man. Well, congratulations.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So,
I wanted to, maybe we could end off by you explaining, because I think it's really powerful, your slogan. I think that's a great way to end.
Oh, isn't it badass?
It's so badass.
It is.
And if you don't mind just ending off the podcast with telling people what it is and explaining how you came up with it.
So, obviously, my gym is called Ludus Performance Gym. Our slogan is Become Your Champion Within. Ludus in Roman times was a gladiator training facility. And, you know, gladiators are always training, just like our modern day athletes, to be the champion of the arena, right? In fact, a lot of that came from the show Spartacus. I love that show. So, you know, when you want to become the champion of the arena, it's for all the glory and everything else. But for everyday people or the everyday athlete or the athletes that will go to college and make a name for themselves, or the former athlete that comes in, or even the dad that's going to go home to play with his kids, or the mom's going to go home and play with kids. Hell, the grandmoms that are in our place that go home, play with their grandkids, are able to lift them up, pick them up. The whole point of the slogan was to come in and whatever it is you want to champion in life, we're going to help you physically be able to do what that is. So, yeah, that's pretty much what the whole slogan was about.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that a
Love
lot.
it.
So,
Love it. Well,
Hey, Joe, I truly appreciate you coming on. It's been
appreciate
a
you guys
minute.
having me.
We've
Yeah.
been trying to set this up for a while. I'm happy that we finally got it done.
yeah.
You know,
It's been great.
it's been an absolute pleasure. You want to sign us off?
yeah. So, guys, this is Joe.
Yes, sir.
I'm Jay.
This is Cody.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. This episode was awesome. I love it, especially like his whole story. And then it's funny how our circle was kind of running around the same way.
Yeah.
And meeting The Rock. He got to meet The Rock,
Yeah.
and I only got tattoos so I could look like The Rock. But other than that, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you're thinking about doing in the gym. If you're gonna try any of those exercises that he said was his top 10, and you know, hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and that's really it. And find him at
What is your socials so they all know?
Yeah, so you guys can follow me at Coach Joe _Ludus, and you can follow our gym page at Ludus Performance Gym. We're gonna be getting a new website, so I won't say what that is right now, but you'll find that on our Instagram page. Yeah, and if you guys are looking for programs or anything like that, and you want something to follow along, we're gonna have a whole brand new online platform coming January 1st. So
awesome.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Stay tuned.
Stay
Stay
tuned.
tuned.
So make sure you give him a follow. Give us a follow. And you already know the deal.
We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Peace.